Here's some good stats for you from Breitbart. Study, more than 7 in 10, so what was about 3/4? In California, immigrant households are on welfare. You know, out California, open borders, come over, come over, come over. Who's paying for this? The idiot taxpayer American citizens paying for this. 3/4 of the immigrants are on welfare. How? We need the immigrants. We need they do the work that the Americans won't do. Doesn't sound like it. Doesn't sound like it. Maybe 1% of what's coming over will do some jobs that we don't want to do, but the other 99%, they're on welfare. More than 7 in 10 households headed by immigrants in the state of California are on taxpayer-funded welfare. A new study reveals. They got a link to the study. The latest Census Bureau data analyzed by the Center for Immigration Studies, CIS, finds that about 72% of households headed by non-citizens and immigrants use one or more forms of taxpayer-funded welfare, programs in California, the #1 immigrant-receiving state in the United States. Meanwhile, only about 35% of households headed by native-born Americans use welfare in California. So only a third. Not 3/4, just a third. All 4 states with the largest foreign-born populations, including California, have extremely high use of welfare by immigrant households. In Texas, for example, nearly 70% of households, again, headed by immigrants, use taxpayer-funded welfare. Meanwhile, only about 35% of the native-born households in Texas are on welfare. Same numbers. In New York and Florida, a majority of households headed by immigrants and non-citizens are on welfare. Overall, about 63% of immigrant households use welfare, while only 35% of native-born households use welfare. President Trump's administration is looking to soon implement a policy that protects American taxpayers' dollars from funding the mass importation of welfare-dependent foreign nationals by enforcing a public charge rule whereby legal immigrants, not illegal, legal immigrants would be less likely to secure a permanent residency in the U.S. if they have used any forms of welfare in the past, including using Obamacare, food stamps, or public housing. Because if you've used those things and you're an immigrant and we give you full citizenship, you're probably going to stay on those things. Again, I've said this before. You go, I use Mexico because it's our southern border. Mexico mostly is a third world country. There's a few pockets of like, oh, right across the border, Tijuana, there's a couple of spots that may not let you see that. So in a third world country, they don't have welfare, they don't have handouts, they have very little anything from the government. These people fend for themselves. They do not live well. Matter of fact, by American standards, it would be scary to go live in their shoes for a while. It's sad, but it's true. You know it's sad, but true. Metallica. So imagine being over there, living in not so good conditions, and you have an opportunity to come to America, doing the same thing you're doing at home, which is nothing. Get on welfare. Get on some form of government help. And realize, oh my God, my life has changed for the better beyond words I can even speak. Yet to us Americans who are trying to achieve and live the American dream, those low standards in America, we don't want that. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like public housing or public subsidized housing. I don't want to be on welfare. Not to say, again, people get down their luck. It's a temporary thing. You get back on your feet, you go. But again, the numbers don't lie. The numbers are saying that, no, they're not getting back on their feet. It's like they were never on their feet, so they don't know what it's like to be on their feet. They just come over and, oh, this is way better living than I did before. And I can do the same thing. And I've got an internet. I've got a cell phone. Man, life is good. Proud to be an illegal American. Fight for the rights of the many kinfolk, that is. Now, at the same time, if I'm the person in Mexico in this example, and I have an opportunity to come here, what the hell do you think I'm going to do? You could bet your sweet American tax-paying, overtax-paying self, my butt's coming over. Because I live like crap over here. I want to better my life and my family's lives. So, of course, I'm going to attempt to come over there. Why not? If I could just get over there, maybe have a baby while my wife gives birth over the border. Hey, I'm gonna now the anchor baby kicks in. Now we get to have citizenship because our child was born on American soil. Welfare, handout. Again, I urge you to go watch the video I just found on YouTube. San Francisco, S-I-C-K-O, San Francisco, about the homeless population in San Francisco, as well as LA and other parts of California. And they're showing more and more, the more you just hand somebody money, the more they don't want to work, the more they don't want to get off their butts and do something. The old saying is so true. Teach a man to fish, and he will fish and feed himself. Hand a man fish and never show him how to fish, and he will stand there with his hands and I'm hungry. Give me more. I need some more. I got to eat 3 times a day. And you're going to have to keep fishing for him. And then one day, I can teach him how to fish. And then I don't have to come over here anymore. Correct. And if you enjoyed it for the time being, go teach somebody else. You're now a teacher. You're helping people get on their feet. You're doing something great. Rather than just hand them the fish. And again, in San Francisco and other places, all these little nonprofits are popping up with full staff, full employees. Hey, we need help, bring money in. They've got some government coming in. They've got donations coming in. Yeah. And all they're doing is feeding the homeless. They'll keep coming back. Teach a man to fish. Help them get a job. Help them get on their feet. But don't sit there and continue giving them over and over and over. Because again, if I'm being handed money, what incentive do I have to go get a job? And during the interview of this thing, many of the homeless are like, I like living like this. No, I choose to live like this. I like it. This is me. This is how I live. I'm fine with it. It's the same thing for anybody on welfare that is an illegal immigrant. I get that there's people struggling right now, Americans. I got family of 5. I got a family of 7. I do need government help. I'm trying to get jobs. I got a single job. It doesn't pay enough. I get it. At least you got a job. At least you're trying. At least you didn't come over here and say, I'm just going straight on welfare and I'll never get off this. And then if I can become a citizen, oh, I've got it made. Again, I'm coming from a place that didn't have any of this. So anything's better than where I came from. And again, I was never on my feet where I came from. Therefore, I don't know how to be on my feet or go get a job or 9 to 5. I don't know. Why? I'm willing to live with a bunch of my family members, including outside family, in a tiny house, bunk beds and everything. Not how an American would normally live. But I'm willing to do that because they're on welfare, I'm on welfare, they're on welfare, and together we can pay the bills. And again, we don't have the drug and violence or the gang stuff in Mexico. We don't have any of that to deal with. We're fine. We're living okay. Yeah, we're living in a bad area, but so what? It ain't nothing like we used to live in. So how is this helping? Again, Donald Trump, he wants to fix this. If you've had welfare in the past, including using Obamacare, food stamps, and public housing, well, we don't think you would be a good candidate for a citizen in our country. The immigration controls would be a boon for American taxpayers in the form of an annual $57.4 billion tax cut. $57 billion tax cut. I'll take that. The amount taxpayers spend every year on paying for the welfare, crime, and schooling costs of the country's mass importation of 1.5 million new, mostly low-skilled legal immigrants. As Breitbart News reported, the majority of the more than 1.5 million foreign nationals entering the country every year use about 57% more food stamps than the average native-born American household. Overall, immigrant households consume 33% more cash welfare than American citizens households and 44% more in Medicaid dollars. So again, our medical costs are out of control, taxes are out of control. It's because we can't afford it. At some point, no matter how much you want to give, my heart says give, there's a threshold when your pocketbook says F you. And that's a painful day for some people who just want to help keep giving. Because you realize, I can't keep doing this. If I keep doing this, oh my God, I'm going to become one of those people in need of help. And I don't want to live like that. So help a man fish. Find a way to help the men fish. So that's the other thing. Those Americans who are on assistance, if you stop all these people from coming into our country, how many jobs open up? Right? How many jobs open up for the Americans who needed a little bit of welfare? They just need to get back on their feet. Got a part-time job. I need something better. Oh, well, there's a whole bunch of job openings. It just makes sense, doesn't it? Take care.